Further debate? The member from Northumberland-Quinte West.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and it's my pleasure to stand here today and give sort of my, I guess you could say, my 2 cents worth on this very serious issue of bullying. We have two bills that have been brought forward, 13 and 14, and as noble as the members who crafted those bills and the sincerity, I honestly do believe there's a sincerity to move on the issue of bullying, because bullying affects, of course, young people. And as a former educator myself, Mr. Speaker, for the last 13 years, I can honestly say that I have witnessed and experienced bullying firsthand. And one of the things that disturbs me the most about individuals who bully others is the fact that it's obviously a self-esteem issue. There are issues behind the scenes that, as an educator, we are not necessarily privy to. Their lifestyle at home, what happens at home among their peers, etc. It's a human instinct to lash out sometimes when especially for young people who don't know exactly how to focus their energies, and so they pick on younger individuals because of their differences, their variances, and it has to be through the education of such seriousness that we extend that to those young individuals. So, as noble as Bill 13 is, and Bill 14, I have to say, the member from Kitchener-Waterloo, Ms. Whitmer, has done extensive research, talking and listening to stakeholders about the issue of bullying, and has actually listened to what the experts have to say. Bill 14, Mr. Speaker, I believe, definitely outlines the parameters of how to address bullying within our education system, even within our society as a whole. It definitely brings forward a defined definition of what bullying on the web is and what those penalties are for those individuals who partake in bullying in the social media. So I think, as nice as Bill 13 is, and as nice as Bill 14 is, the member from Hamilton Mountain is right. We have to work together, collaboratively, towards the betterment of such a serious issue. One thing that is concerning, however, that I have to disagree with my esteemed NDP colleague, is more funding to address the issue. As an educator myself, one of the frustrating things is there's teachers and administrators don't have the tools, the resources, the power, if you will, to enforce. If an individual does something or bullies an individual, what kind of not punishment, but what are the alternatives for an individual who does that? Right? We need to work with the young individual, but at the same time, that's what, as an educator, that's what I do. That's what the guidance teachers do. Right? We have other staff members, EAs, ECEs, who work with those individuals. We don't. They're being cut because of my esteemed government's budget is going to do that. But so the funding isn't an issue, and I don't see it as an issue. What we need to do is give the
I would suggest that the members go through the chair if they want to talk, not to each other. This come through me. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I apologize, Mr. Speaker. You're absolutely correct. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't think that we actually need more funding in order to educate the young people about bullying and the seriousness of the impact of what bullying has. I think Bill 14 is a huge step forward in fighting bullying within our education system. And I honestly think, Mr. Speaker, that what the member for Kitchener-Waterloo has done is the correct approach to addressing any issue. This is a nonpartisan issue. This is an issue that goes beyond political stripes. You know, a young person on the playground being picked on can be a conservative, a liberal, a Green Party. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter their religion, their creed. What happens, Mr. Speaker, is that we need to make sure that this doesn't happen at all. Equality for all, across the board. It doesn't matter. Equal. We are all equal, Mr. Speaker, and that's what I think Bill 14 definitely addresses. It's the equality for all. It outlines the parameters for which those individuals will face if they do not adhere to what, as an educator and as my colleagues in the teaching profession try to do, which is instill good character in individuals, Mr. Speaker. Very similar and a good point made earlier that, you know, we, regardless of political stripes, my liberal counterparts are great individuals. You know, my NDP esteemed colleagues here are great individuals. They come to the House and they have great ideas. They represent their people. This is a nonpartisan issue. And I think, you know, the member from Nepean Carleton had it right as well. You know, she has worked very diligently with local groups in her riding, and she's done a fantastic job of reaching out to families, communities who have been, you know, embraced and thrust into situations that, quite frankly, are almost unbearable. You know, we have individuals who have taken their own lives, and it's very sad because no one, regardless of their religion, creed, where they live, what their beliefs are, what their value systems are, these are individuals that are going and should be nurtured in our society. And I think Bill 14 addresses that, and I think the member from Nepean Carleton would agree with me when I say that what Ms. Whitmer has actually done, and I'll say this again with the stakeholders, listening to them, it's an extensive outreach. Listened is the key. Listen to what people have to say. Only by listening can you actually get to the bottom of things, resolve those concerns. And, you know, Mr. Speaker, I have to say that the NDP is correct. You know, my esteemed colleague from Hamilton Mountain is correct in the sense, and what I'm hearing from my esteemed colleague, Mr. Speaker, is that no piece of legislation is perfect. We understand that. That's the humanitarian part of what we do. You're not going to get everything perfect on the first try, but we have to try. And this is why I think, Mr. Speaker, when Bill 14 goes to committee, hopefully when it's in committee, Mr. Speaker, we can actually collaboratively work together to ensure that amendments from various Bill 13 there, I'm sure, are parts that may improve Bill 14. My esteemed colleague here said, well, we could introduce Bill 15. In committee, that's sort of essentially what we're doing. We're working towards the betterment of a more perfect piece of legislation that's going to have a positive impact on the lives of so many. So, Mr. Speaker, I would just like to add, as I close here today, it's a great honor to stand here and debate this bill. in the sense that we honestly have to take a positive approach, and I think Bill 14 is a massive leap towards addressing the issue of this serious nature. Thank you very much, Mr.
Questions and comments?